I keep going after your no because that's just not the only answer to me.
You succeeding or you ultimately not succeeding is a culmination of so many things that it'll blow your mind. So when you hear no from one person or you hear no from one entity, you just keep going. You move on to the next one. You have to constantly be creating and constantly be evolving.
When I hear opposition or when I hear people saying things that I don't like to hear, I make it a point to turn those things into things I do like to hear. So no's become yes. There's no other option.
I keep going after I hear no because I don't know at what point in my life, but I started to believe that failure is not an option. It's not that you have to get up and keep doing the same thing. Sometimes it means you got to get up and think about another way to do that thing.
You know, if I really want to tell a story, if I really want to produce something, then really no can't stop me. I'm kind of, no's sometimes drive me of just like wanting to prove people wrong at the end of the day, especially in this day and age because you have so many resources to be able to just override no's.
My name is Vanessa Anderson. I am the owner of AMPR Group, and I run all communications and publicity for Issa Rae Productions. A simple way to describe what public relations is and what a publicist does is we are basically the middle person between talent or a brand or a project and the general public and the media. So we handle all inquiries that come in, but we're also pitching for TV, film, print, digital, any sort of medium to get a story out or to tell your client's vision is essentially what we do. A typical day at Issa Rae Productions is not typical. Every day, something new, something different. When we're in production on a show, that's a totally different schedule than when we are out of production, when we're getting ready to do press tours. Some days I never leave the house because I can never like get off the phone or get off my email to even like properly get dressed to leave. Other days I'm on the road, back-to-back meetings. But essentially I am constantly on the phone, whether it's telephone calls, emails, or dealing with clients. I've been with Issa for a really long time, and I think that there's a trust there between us, and it has allowed for me to do other things that I would normally not be able to do. So for instance, I kind of take lead on most of the events that we do. I sit in on team meetings, which usually are actually more production focused. Any new projects that come to Issa Rae Productions or to Color Creative or to The Peak, I'm a part of in some way or some form. One of the things that I had to learn along the way is that in order for me to be the best publicist I can be for Issa and for Issa Rae Productions and for all of the other clients that I service is to really be honest with myself about what I can take on and what my bandwidth is. So I'm really clear, and at this point with Issa, like we've been together for so long that a lot of the work that I do with her is like second nature. But I think when I'm working with other clients, you know, it's really just being honest with people and saying, hey, look, this is what my time commitments are. This is what I'm able to do. This is not what I'm able to do. That way you're not signing up for something and you can't deliver. I think what makes Issa Rae Productions special is we're a small team, and I think that that's where we actually find our strength. At the end of the day, we're all sort of working towards the same goal. We all really enjoy working with each other. We all enjoy doing our individual roles within the team. No one is trying to do someone else's job. I think that there's no competition in that sense. Everyone really supports each other in our other endeavors. Obviously Issa and IRP are one client of mine. I have other clients, and I think that everyone is excited for me when I sign a new client. And then I think the other cool thing is if I'm able, at least for me, if I can bring, team members or production team or videographer or producer onto a project that I'm working on separately, that's really cool too, because obviously I trust them And I know that the quality of work that'll be delivered will be top notch, and we can all make money together. What's great about the time that we're in now is everyone is a lot more accessible. When I first got into publicity, which was in 2007, there wasn't like Instagram. I think Twitter, I don't even think had started. So I wasn't able to directly talk to and find other Black publicists. Also, there's just not a lot of them. So it was just really difficult for me to be able to pick someone's brain or get advice or, sort of follow someone's trajectory because there just wasn't a lot of info out there. I think now between especially on Instagram, I constantly have people sending me DMs, emailing me saying, hey, can I ask you a question about this, or can I pick your brain about this? I think the most important thing to do is to do that, is to reach out to people. You have to do your research. That's a part of the job. And if you can't do that for yourself, you won't be able to do that for clients. But also staying the course and following up. My biggest thing is if you don't follow up, this is not a career for you. You have to follow up with editors, with writers, with talent. You have to constantly be following up. And again, if you're not willing to do that for yourself, so that you can further your career, that you can get to, where you want to go in life, you're definitely not going to be able to do that for a client. So one thing that I think is really important that I think now in 2018 people have an advantage over that I did not have when I first started in the business is that there are ways to access other publicists, right? People who have been in the business for a while, people who have gems to share, things that can really help you along in your career. And I wasn't able to find that until I was well into my career. I think, the first woman that ever really kind of took me under her wing was a woman named Tammy Gollihue, who I met when I had a contract at Warner Brothers. And shortly after that, I met another publicist named Yvette Noel Shore, who really, I think, taught me that you could do this job and still be kind and still be sweet and still be liked. I think that there's this perception that publicists are all bitches and we're mean and, we don't care about people and we're very calculating. And in some instances, those are qualities that you need, but those don't define who you are. And Yvette was really probably one of the first people that showed me that you could have a very, very long career and still be loved and adored by all. So my advice really would be to find your Yvette and find your Tammy as soon as you can. The two skills that you absolutely need in order to be successful in this career is you have to know how to write really well. And you have to know how to communicate. You have to have a phone voice, you have to know how to talk to people on email, you have to be cognizant of who you're dealing with and who you're talking to. How you deal with a writer at a mainstream outlet like a Vanity Fair or a Vogue or a GQ is different than how you are going to talk to or interact with a blogger or a YouTuber. So you just have to know the landscape that you're dealing with and how to navigate that. But definitely communicating is super important. Being a writer, that's something that if you can't write, I will absolutely never hire you. I think that is the #1 communication tool that we use in this job. I think some other things that you have to have sort of, I guess, in your bag of tricks is you have to learn the art of being nice nasty, which is essentially just, learning and understanding that you're gonna have to be the bad guy a lot because you're the person that's representing the client or the project or whatever you're working on. And sometimes you have to deliver bad news or something that people don't want to hear, but you also have to maintain that relationship so that you can go back to them for another client or for another project later. I think the reason why I keep doing this job mainly is because there's not a lot of us. There's not a lot of us that are working at this level that have the type of clientele that I do. A lot of Black publicists work more so on the music side. There are very, very, very few of us that are excelling in like TV or film or, you know, digital content. So I feel that I have to do my part and stay in it. Also, I really, really, really enjoy, you know, kind of playing chess behind the scenes and helping someone get their vision out and get their story out. You know, I have no desire ever to be famous. I hate doing stuff like this. But I understand that, you know, there's a value to it. And, you know, my goal is to make sure that everyone knows what Issa's vision is for herself, for others, and for each of us.
So scenarios you're putting them in that hadn't previously been done.
For me, it just came down to just telling human stories.
Yeah.
Like, we are all human at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And even in watching television my whole life and seeing various comedies, there was always like, oh, this is a black comedy and this is a white people sense of humor, and wanting to explore that. And again, even with the show, just trying to be funny, putting people in realistic situations. And I think we're telling a very universally specific story. Like, it's specific that you're following, you know, 2 black women, but at the same time, these are all situations that relate emotionally. Like, everybody's been in a relationship of some sort. Everybody's felt insecure or socially uncomfortable or inept. And I think that's what we really try to tap into, is just that core feeling. So you can't say, oh, I don't relate because this is a black show, so I can't. My favorite black cult classic. I'm gonna go contemporary. I really love Dope. I really like what that did.
Class act.
Favorite black cult classic movie would have to be Coming to America.
Love Jones.
No matter how rough around the edges the project may be, just get it done, put it out into the world, and then do it over again. You gotta just start putting things out, throwing things against the wall.
Whatever the matter, I see you in passing. I'd